Have you ever seen these amazing balloons that are used in so many different installations and they look so good, but they can be a little bit tricky to inflate? Hi, my name is Julia with Decor Lab, and in this video we'll be talking about orbs, how to inflate it, different types of it, and how is it different from other balloons. If this is something you would like to see, keep on watching. So there are three main types of balloons. The first one is very well known latex balloons. Latex balloons is something you can find in any party store, dollar store, department store, and you can use that for any party, celebration, decoration. The second type is your bubbles, also known as clears. These are made out of plastic. And the last type I want to show you is foil balloons, including our orbs. Foil balloons also can be any type of character balloons or star balloons, heart balloons. But today we're going to talk about sphere balloons, also known as orbs. So in the United States, there are three different types of orbs. The first one is Chinese orb. As you can see, the Chinese orb has very obvious seal to the side. So the next one is an American orb. It doesn't have the seal as obvious as the Chinese orb, but it has the wording on the balloons. And it has the barcode and logo of the company that produces these balloons. But it works for a setup just as well as the Chinese. If you are creating a top-notch setup, I would highly recommend to go with a Japanese orb. This is the third type. We are using that in non-mirrored color to show you kind of the difference. Also comes in mirrored, gold, mirrored, silver colors. It is smooth and sleek and has a nice look when it is in a display or if it's inflated with helium. So these would be my number one choice. They're also a little bit more expensive on the market, so keep that in mind when you're pricing your work. So now let's get into the inflation part. There is a little secret to it to get into that perfect sphere shape. We will inflate our Japanese orb this time, and we will use a hand pump to inflate it. It is very important to remember, use a hand pump to inflate your orbs. Otherwise, if you will use the electric pump, it will break the seal and your orb will keep on deflating, or it will just pop. So hand pump is the way to go. So each orbs has the little adhesive seal part at its tail. So it doesn't matter which orbs you're working with, whether it is Japanese, American, or Chinese orbs, you will have similar case scenario in each. So what you're going to do, you're going to insert your hand pump inside of that tail adhesive part, but don't insert it all the way too deep. In that case, you will break the adhesive seal inside of that tail. So we are just going to insert a very tip into it. You see, just like this much. Now we are just going to hold it with one hand to make sure our balloon stays on the pump. And as our balloon lays flat on a surface, in our case it's a table, we are going to start inflating. When you're inflating your orb, make sure when you're moving your pump, you're moving the actual pump part versus moving the balloon part. So your balloon doesn't go up and down and your seal doesn't break. Remember, if the seal breaks, that means your orb will be deflating. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of decorators do is to keep their orbs in this shape. So it's somewhat square, somewhat sphere, and it has all those wrinkles to the sides. And I've seen so many different setups with a balloon inflated to this capacity, and it is wrong. There is a secret to get it to the perfect sphere. So what you're going to do when you got to this shape, you put your sphere aside for about a minute. What that does is that stretches the foil and gives you an opportunity to inflate it even more without breaking that seal at the wrinkle part. And then when you inflate it to the full capacity, all wrinkles will be gone, and then you will have a perfect sphere shape. All right, now let's give it a minute. Now it's been about a minute. Let's continue inflating that. So we're going to insert our pump. As you can see, it already getting better, but we are going to continue inflating our orb until all of these wrinkles are gone. And just like that, we got into our perfect sphere shape. So now let's talk about how to add this orb to your garland. What we're going to do here, we are going to use our 260 and we will simply wrap it to our tail and then tie it. So that will create a tail that will allow us to attach this balloon to basically anything. You can thread your 260 through this hole and attach your balloon this way. But what I like to do, I like to wrap around the 260 and then tie it. So what I did here is I extra secured my tail just in case it starts deflating, it's too hot out and that seals break. I gave it this little extra support so we're not losing air too fast in the hot weather. And I kind of closed up that little tail, like where the air would go out. So we tied it, and now you can tie your balloon to anything. You can create a loop by tying the end of the 260 and then loop it around into your garland. Or you can tie it to any surface like a ceiling or a wall or anything else just to fit your vision. So Japanese orbs come with a price. They range anywhere from $5–6 per small balloon up to $30 at some places for a very large jumbo balloon. So the question is, can you reuse these balloons? And my answer is absolutely yes. So if you did use the 260 my way to secure your balloon on the garland, so you just simply untie it from the tail. Now we are going to insert a straw inside of our tail and release the air. But make sure you use a smaller straw versus the big straw so you don't break that adhesive seal in the balloon. And now you can just store it until you need it next time. So just keep in mind that it still might break because it has been used once already, so always have a backup plan. Now that you know everything about orbs, make sure you check out our other balloon videos. And I will see you in the next one.